We're never doing that again.
Don't sleep. Don't sleep, baby. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
That was cold.
What is up? What is up, guys? Welcome to episode number 66 of the Good Point Bro podcast. My name is Kane. This is my little bro, Cam.
Don't sleep.
As you guys know, over here at Good Point Bro, we think Jesus is king. We want to dedicate this episode to him and everything that we have so far. If we're going to dedicate the big things to God, of course, little stuff, 25 view episodes or whatever it is, we dedicate those to him as well. As you guys know, we like to get right into things around here. So we'll get right into it today. As you guys can see the topics below, there's a bar scrolling with all of our topics. So stick around for the ones that you see later that you might want to see. Towards the end, we're going to do a Would You Rather Kyrie edition. So if you want to see that one, stick around. But first up, we're going to start with our quick hitters. First quick hitter is, has the process worked? Did the process work in Philly? Everyone said trust the process for years. Basically, Joel Embiid's nickname is The Process. So did it work?
Okay. What matters in sports? Winning championships. It's like, okay, the Buffalo Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls and didn't win one, and nobody remembers them because they didn't. Yeah, but because of of a bad thing, because they couldn't get it done. Not only are the 76ers haven't made a finals, they haven't made a conference finals since Joel Embiid's been there. Yeah, it is a failure. They need to figure out how to win. They had the best opportunity they've had since Joel Embiid's been there. They had a game 6 on their home floor. Jason Tatum puts up a donut in the first half, and you still don't get it done. I mean, it was on a silver platter for them to go to the conference finals, and if they're going against the Heat, who knows what could have happened. I know they're not going down 3-0. That's for sure. They're not going to go down 3-0 against the Heat. That's going to be a 6 or 7 game series, and that could easily go either way. And the 76ers at least make the finals, where they would have lost to the Nuggets probably.
Right.
But who knows what Joel Embiid does to Jokic, though, at that point.
Nobody touches
Jokic.
Bro. Nobody does.
Joel Embiid has gotten the best of Jokic in the regular season. Who knows what would happen in the finals?
I actually disagree with you to some extent. I think that the process itself worked. I think they got marginally better than they were. I think they're on the brink. They just need a piece to get over the hump right now. They over the last 4 or 5 seasons, they're winning an average of about 50 games. They're about a 3rd seed most years, 4th seed one year. So I think obviously they're a lot better, and I can't say that I know of a process that would have worked better. Like if you look over the past few years, basketball is different, man. Like the Warriors have won a lot of titles. Depending on how far back you go, obviously you have Miami's Heat teams, and then LeBron dominating the East for 10 years. So it's not like any other teams in the East are really building dynasties.
Okay, but
my point is, they've gotten themselves a lot closer to the discussion. I think you go ahead and get rid of Harden. Some people think not. I think Tyrese Maxey. I think it'd be good for Tyrese Maxey to have the ball more, and he can do that if Harden's not on the floor with him.
No, you trade him.
So you kind of get rid of Tyrese
you
for
trade
what?
him for Dame.
No, you don't.
Why don't you got enough?
Who are you trading?
You're trading Tobias Harris, who's an expiring contract. That's going to be good for Portland. And you trade Tyrese Maxey, who's a good young guard. Now you have a good young backcourt with him and Scoot Henderson. And then you lose. I let James Harden walk. Tell him you're not going to, because he has a player option, tell him just to leave. Then you have $35 million open up in cap space. You can get more depth. That is the plan for the 76ers if they want to win the chip. And this is the thing about the Sixers. They lost the ability to win a championship when they let go of Jimmy Butler because he was their closer, and it definitely fit. And they lost by a crazy buzzer beater to the eventual NBA championships, the Toronto Raptors. So they need someone need someone who can close games. And that's Damian Lillard. James Harden's too inconsistent to close games. We've seen him in the playoffs. The games are called differently. He's not getting foul calls. They play better defense.
Tired.
It's just not working out.
But that's what you have a big man. You should go back to that. You should say the process worked. The process worked up to getting Jimmy Butler. And then they chose Ben.
I'm trying to finish my thought.
That's what you should say. No. I just want to focus on that because that was actually a really good point. I think it's probably better than the point you're about to say. The process worked up to Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
And then they chose Ben Simmons. That's what
happened. The process worked until they let go of Jimmy Butler because they lost their closer. They stuck with Ben Simmons, who's a guard who can't shoot, and a big man always needs a great guard to be able to win a championship. Look at Kareem had Magic. Jokic had Murray. Even though Murray's not an all-star, he played like an all-NBA player the whole playoffs. Think about Jamal Murray in Game 2. He literally that series is tied 1-1 if it wasn't for Jamal Murray scoring 25 in the fourth. Those big men need guards who can close games and be able to get them the ball, which James Harden didn't do for Joel Embiid, and what Damian Lillard can do for Joel Embiid. Until they get someone who can close games and be a better player in the playoffs, which Damian Lillard has proven time and time again in his career when he's gotten the opportunity, then they won't win.
I'm good on that quick hitter. We'll move over to the next one. Is it time to trade Trae Young for the Atlanta Hawks? I'm going to go with no. Yeah. And you might go with yes. I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
I will say this. I don't believe that Trae Young can be a 1 on a championship team. I think a lot of people would agree with that. I don't think he can be a 1.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that your goal is to acquire somebody that can be, not to get rid of Trae Young. I think he's a good piece to have. Now, if you can trade Trae Young in one piece to get the guy that, like, if you could get a guy like that could win a championship alone, then that's one thing. But if you're just trading Trae Young for some picks and a couple other, role players, then I don't see the point.
They need to keep Trae Young. What is he, 25?
Yeah,
or
maybe
24?
even younger.
Yeah, I think he's younger. Like, that's a good piece. And like
yeah,
you
he's 24.
said,
he's Lucas' age.
He can be. He doesn't have a lot of help in the Hawks, and who knows if they get like a super good wing guy who actually can be a number 1 on a championship team, how much better he's gonna get, how much more open looks he's gonna get. He's not gonna have all the attention on him. He could actually possibly get better once they get a better piece for him, and just a better
I can agree with
mix.
that.
I think I like their backcourt with Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. They just need to get better wing guys, more depth, and then I think they can be a legit contender. But don't let go of Trae Young. It's too early. It would be like if the Mavericks let go of Luka.
Yeah.
Not to that extent, but why would the Mavs get rid of Luka when, even though they're really not a championship contender right now, they still need more pieces.
Yeah. Moving over to our next quick hitter. It's time for the Blazers to rebuild, right?
Yeah.
So I think we can both agree on that. As far as the Blazers go, in my opinion, people think that Dame needs to get out of there. I think they need Dame out of there as well. If you look at their 3 most promising players, they're all guards. And then, of course, now adding Scooter to be a 4th, if you think he's a promising guy. Now we have 4 guards who are the most promising players on the team. So I think you trade Dame. You try to get a promising big man to go with these promising guards that you already have. That's the only thing I disagreed with you on with trading to Portland. Is I don't think Tyrese Maxey is a great fit there just because they're already guard loaded. Now, I'll get into this in a minute, so I guess I'll wait on that. Well, actually, we can just combine them. So I like him going to the Heat still. I've always liked Damian Lillard going to the Heat. And then my trade proposal for that would be you get Tyler Hero, which is obviously a guard, but he's a little bit more experienced and can play more of a 2 than a 1 like they have with Dame and most of these other guards like Anthony Simons and then as well as Scooter. What's his last name? Scoot Henderson now. So, so you get Tyler Hero, Nikola Jovic, who, not to be confused with Nikola Jovic, who was a first-round pick last year. Not a great guy, but he has a lot of upside. He's really young. He's 6'10". He can shoot, move. He's kind of like a Chet, but not as hyped, in my opinion. And then you give 2 first-round picks.
Well, once Portland decided to keep that 3rd pick, I mean, what's the point of keeping Dame at that point? You should have put that 3rd pick into a package and gotten like a top 10 player in the world, and you didn't do that. So that just told me everything I needed to know.
And he drafted a guard.
Yeah, that's just told me everything I needed to know, that it's time to rebuild in Portland. It's time to get Dame out of there. And they're going nowhere. It doesn't matter. And even if that Scoot Henderson's good, it's going to take him a few years to get good. And Dame's clock is ticking.
Yeah.
Dame time is about to fade away.
Yeah.
So it's time for him to get out of there.
Yeah. Dame time's never been realer.
He's like 33,
counting down.
32, 33.
And he said he doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild. So
I'd rather him be in Philly, man.
You can't rebuild with Dame, and you can't tank with Dame.
Yeah, you can't tank with him because you're going to be an 8 seed.
You can't be a title contender, and you can't tank. So what are you going to do? Yeah. You're just going to be.
You can't get a top 5 pick. Really?
Brink play in every year.
Yeah, you're not going to move forward. You're just going to be average.
Like we were saying, we were kind of saying yesterday, the middle is the worst place to be in sports. Yeah. You either want to be tanking for the talent or you want to be a contender for the title. Yeah. But you don't want to be just sitting in the middle.
Like the Spurs did it right. They were never mediocre, really. When they had DeMar DeRozan for a couple years, they were like average. But other than that, they were a championship contender or they were the worst team in the league. And now they're about to contend for championships again because they just got the best prospect ever.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. The Spurs know what they're doing.
Yeah. Chris Paul to Golden State. Now, this is something that
so stupid.
I thought it was very stupid at first, and I still think it doesn't make too much sense. But I think when you look at the needs that they had to meet, there was only a handful of players that could meet them. As far as financially, and then Chris Paul just happened to be one of them. I don't think they were out looking for Chris Paul. Then when they get Chris Paul, the plus to that for me is Steph Curry's getting older, and he's going to get to play off ball a lot more. And that's always going to be a plus when Steph Curry can play off ball. He's going to get more spot and shoot threes, which is kind of what he does with Draymond. But a lot of times Draymond's kind of like, basically Draymond will back down somebody in the paint, get the ball, then they'll do some type of pick and roll, and he'll kick it back out to Steph, who will hit a three. But now he's getting those same type of looks, but with Chris Paul from point. So that's the only plus. The bad thing for me is Chris Paul and Steph at the same time trying to guard the other team's two guards on ball is going to be rough.
Not only that, but you're adding a 38-year-old who's going to get hurt eventually, and he plays like 55 games a year.
I think that
also you have the fastest pace in the NBA, and you're bringing somebody who has the 19th fastest pace in the NBA, and Chris Paul. The dynamic of the offense could completely shift into something worse. That's what makes Golden State special. That's why, they tire out their opponents so much because they're constantly running around, and it makes them so hard to guard. That's what makes the Warriors special, is their pace and how they move off ball. Chris Paul is going to eliminate that when he's on the floor and having the basketball.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can see is he tries to keep that same pace with the starters, and then when he's with the second group,
that's and if he keeps that pace with starters, dude's going to blow a hamstring. But I'm saying,
I think he's going to play 55 games regardless if he's hurt or not.
The only plus that it brings is the second unit, because every time Steph was off the floor, they were turned into the worst offense in the NBA. So getting Chris Paul could add some value to that, to being able to hone in that second unit and not making them lose leads all the time. That's the only plus I see. Yeah. Other than that, I don't really see it. But if I'm the Warriors, I'm going to try to get Brook Lopez. If they got Brook Lopez, bro, I think that would completely change their team. Because now they get a big, which they need, that can shoot and score. He's going to give you 20 a game and is just one of the best blockers in the league.
Where's he currently at? So the Bucks?
But he's a free agent. That's what I would go for.
The Bucks aren't interested in re-signing him?
But I don't know if they even
know?
I'm sure the Bucks are interested in re-signing him. I'm sure they'll get him back, but I'm just saying, I don't even know if the Warriors have the capability to sign him, but if they did get Brook Lopez, then I think they're right there on top of the best contenders in the NBA.
Yeah.
Right now, I really don't see how they got any better than what I felt about them last year.
Yeah, I don't think they're better.
But Klay Thompson's just got to get better. Think about that series against the Lakers. A lot of it was just how they couldn't shoot at all on the road.
Right.
It just really came down to them not shooting. Because they out-rebounded the Lakers in the series. Isn't that crazy? We were talking about their size. They out-rebounded the Lakers in that series. It was just came down to they couldn't hit shots on the road.
Especially Klay.
Yeah, Klay was rough.
And Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole was bad.
Yeah. So
Jordan Poole was so bad.
If they play up to their capabilities, they can still definitely be a contender. But it just all depends on if they play like we know who they are.
Well, I don't even know if we know they're that anymore. I don't even know if we know they're that.
Unless Klay has a comeback year. I mean, I'm not re-signing Klay to some crazy deal.
That's another thing I heard. If you were to have to trade one of the big three in Golden State, would it not be Klay? Yeah, it would have to be Klay, right?
Yeah, it's Klay right now.
Because, Draymond, he's going to give you guys good looks, play great defense, glue guy,
good
leader.
Locker room, yeah.
But
everybody's always said that, though. That Draymond, even on the 2016 team, that he was the second most important player on that team. So people have been saying that forever.
But I think if you were to give your top 5 duos ever, the duo would be Steph Klay.
Yeah, just because the Splash Bros.
Splash Bros.
But really, could it be Steph and Draymond?
Right.
Especially because we talk about how good their chemistry is. Draymond gives Steph open looks all the time, and they just know they always know where each other are at. I don't know how to put it.
On the court.
Yeah, on the court.
Yeah. Sixth sense.
Yeah. They have a sixth sense with each other, and they always know where each other is at,
Right.
which is fun to watch.
All right, before we get into our crystal ball, we're going to do a surprise segment. This is one that we thought of last minute. Basically, all I'm going to do is I'm going to list the stats from one of any of LeBron's seasons. Cameron's going to try to guess which season I'm referring to.
Should we tell him what before?
Basically,
Before the episode?
Before the episode, I was reading, or Cameron tried to guess each points per game all the way up, and he probably guessed, like, he was on the points without the point zero.
Every single year, I was like.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, right there. I just didn't, I guess exactly like probably 4 or 5 times.
All right, so, like I said, I'm going to say the stats from LeBron James' career any season I want, and Cameron's going to try to guess which year I'm talking about. First up. All right. Let's do 26.4, 8.6 rebounds, 8.7 assists.
That was 2016-17.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Dang, bro. All right. Thought I was going to get you that one.
No.
25.3, 6.0, 7.4.
It's either, I'm going to go 14-15.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. 27.3, 6.7, 6.0.
First year on the Lakers.
That is 2006,
Oh, it's
2007.
Oh. Read what his first year on the Lakers, he has higher assists and rebounds, huh?
It's 27.4, 8.5,
Yeah.
8.3.
Yeah.
Let's go 27.2, 7.3, 7.2.
27.2. I'm going to go his last year in Miami.
That is his second year in the NBA. And these are tough, bro, because they're so similar.
Yeah.
Because LeBron's been so consistent.
This is my thought process. I thought his last year in Miami, his assists and rebounds went up, and then his MVP year before that, he had 6 point something in like assists. He had like 6.8 in assists.
So his last year in Miami, and it wasn't 27.2, it was 27.1.
Yeah.
But he only averaged 6.9 and 6.3.
Oh, okay. And then 2013 he was even lower. I think assists and rebounds, right?
2013 was his last. 2012, 13?
Yeah, it's like that.
He was 26.8,
Yeah.
8.0, 7.2.
Oh, okay.
All right, last one. 28.4, 7.6, 7.2.
28. That's one of the years in Cleveland. I'm gonna go 09.
Yes.
Woo! that was kind of a tough one.
Yeah,
that
could go both ways.
I said that was one of his MVP. I'm nasty, bro.
That's not an MVP year.
Yeah, it was. 09 he won it with Cleveland.
Oh.
He won 09, 10, and then he won 12, 13 with Miami.
All right. That's all for the surprise segment. We're going to move over to the next one. This one, as you can see at the bar below, welcome to the crystal ball. I'm going to say a name, and Cameron's going to give me one sentence about their future. First up, Victor Wembanyama.
Superstardom. I just think that he's going to be a top 10 player in NBA history. He's 7'5".
Oof.
If he can stay healthy, he's a 7'5" center who loves the game of basketball. He seems like he has a great work ethic and can shoot threes. And he has great touch, can handle the ball. I think he's going to be special. I think he's one of those just can't miss guys. If he stays healthy. That's the biggest question.
Damian Lillard.
Sadness. I think he stays with the Trailblazers, nothing gets done, and then he ends his career there without a chip. And he kind of gets forgotten.
That's sad.
Sadness, like I'm just talking like he's not going to have a chip.
His future.
And he always talks
His
about
future
like
is sadness.
Yeah.
All right. And it's a sentence. You have to say one word.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid.
One of the biggest what ifs in NBA history.
Bro, why?
Because I just never think that the Sixers are going to get that piece that's going to be able to go over the hump, and he's not going to win a championship. He's just going to be one of those great big men without a chip. Think about all the great big men in NBA history. They all have championships. Now Jokic as well. Joel Embiid might not ever get that one ring.
He's going to be like Moses Malone. No, Moses Malone got
Moses
one.
Malone got one.
The Sixers.
I know. All these big men have chips, and he's not going to have one. So I'm going to say he's going to be one of the biggest what ifs.
Nikola Jokic.
Top. I think Jokic is going to be a top 5 center by the end of his career, which is saying a lot because if you look at the list of centers, Wilt, Russell, Kareem, Shaq, Tim Duncan, or he's a power forward, but just like a top 5 big, I guess. I think that he's going to crack that because I think he's going to win 3 or 4. Because the way Jokic plays, how he doesn't rely on athleticism, I think he can do this for a long time. Think about a lot of big men besides Kareem have really short primes. Like Shaq had a 3, like we were saying, he had like 10 good seasons, right? Was it like 8 to 10?
He just got there young. He got good young,
Yeah.
and then he got bad
He
young.
didn't have the pieces to win a championship until he was with the Lakers,
Yeah.
and then he had that last stint of his prime, and he was able to win.
Right.
But I think it seems like the Nuggets have a good front office, good coach, they're going to keep giving him talent, and he's going to be able to do this for a long time. So I think he's going to crack the top 5.
LeBron James.
He needs to win one more.
No, what's his future?
Oh, his future?
Yeah.
Somehow he will win one more. He's going to win one more. He needs 5, dude. Think about it. Magic has 5. Kobe has 5. Duncan has 5. Obviously, MJ has 6. Kareem has 6. He's got to win one more. He needs 5 on that resume.
Yeah.
He needs 5. 4 is good. Him and Jordan are the only player with 4 or more Finals MVPs, but he needs 5.
All right, moving over to our next segment. This one's called PB&J.
But before we continue, I think LeBron's the type of person that he can't sleep until he gets 5. Like
He's
really,
like Tom Brady.
he wants to win another
Like how
ring
Tom
bad.
Brady really didn't want to retire
Yeah, I think
until his family broke
I
apart.
think he's gonna get 5 because he's not gonna be able to sleep till he does.
All right, moving over into our next segment. This one's called PB&J because we're gonna give you 2 duos, and then we're gonna decide which one's better.
Let's go.
PB&J. Better duo. Ready? Who's the better duo? Kobe and Shaq, or Scottie and Michael Jordan?
It's Scottie and Michael Jordan. They won 6 championships together, 2 3-peats. There's only been 4 3-peats in NBA history. They have 2 of them.
Yeah.
We have never seen dominance in the NBA or in any sport almost like Michael and Scottie Pippen.
Overall talent-wise, I'm taking Kobe and Shaq.
Talent-wise, maybe, but think about Shaq and Kobe complement each other, but they were 2 alphas that didn't get along because they both wanted that number 1 spot. Scottie Pippen took that Robin role and said, okay, I'll deal with it. And he took a backseat to Michael Jordan, didn't challenge him either. So I feel like their chemistry was better on the floor because Scottie Pippen was willing to take that backseat role and for the betterment of the team. That's what's so special about the Bulls. They all did their job. Scottie knew what he did, executed it. Michael knew what he did, executed it. Dennis Rodman knew what he needed to do, executed it. They had the best rebounder, the best defender, and then the best scorer in the league, all knowing
more
their
than
roles.
that. They had
all
the best,
knowing their roles
they
and
had the
coming
best
together and
coach.
doing it.
They had the best coach, star, defender, rebounder, 3-point shooter, foreign player.
That's why when we say like when you put up those stats about like how Scottie Pippen led in every other category besides scoring, that stuff matters. Because all Michael Jordan really had to worry about was putting the ball in the basket. And if you look at LeBron's teams, he had to do every single thing for them to be successful.
Yeah.
But there's also like, is it hard for LeBron to fit in a system? Is it harder for LeBron to be in a system? Because the teams that he's been on, he's kind of like people have to acclimate on how to play with him.
Year 2.
Because he's.
But I think
it's
people
a
had to
difference to play
accumulate.
What I think is
With
that
Jordan
they
as
had
well.
strong front office people, they had a strong GM, they had a strong-minded coach, and they said, listen, if you want to win, you have to be part of a system. You can't win by yourself. You can't be the guy to handle the ball all the time, take these bad shots. And Michael was willing to fit into a system, and they were successful. And that's, I guess, what sets LeBron apart because kind of LeBron is a system. Michael was part of a system. Like I feel like Michael needed Scottie, Phil Jackson, Jerry Krause for it to all work out, all those pieces. And then LeBron, you just give him a basketball, and then eventually he'll figure it out. Now, he didn't win the championships that Michael did, but he won with 3 different teams and was the best player on all 3 of those teams, which says a lot. So it's just, what is your definition of the GOAT? Is it the greatest winner, which is Michael Jordan, Or is it the best all-around player who can take talent that's not as good and elevate them better than anybody who's ever lived, which is LeBron James? I tend to gravitate more towards that than who's just the greatest winner.
Clip it, chat. All right. I have nothing to disagree with on that. I think that was like 3 clips, so we're chilling there. Top 5 players going into next year. Should I just do this one? Since we have the same. All right.
Well, I think I put KD 5, maybe. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, I'll just say it, and then if you want to change one of them. All right. Cool. So, over in our next topic, this one's going to be the top 5 players going into next year. So, for me personally, here are my top 5 players going into next season. At number 5, Luka Doncic. Young guy, a lot of potential, shown on the Mavs. Don't think he has much hope right now. Wish they had kept Jalen Brunson, is what it is. Number 4, Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid looks like he has the potential to be higher. For me, I think he was trying way too hard to win the MVP this year, burned himself out, had a lot of injuries going into the playoffs, had to sit out games when in big series, missed game 1 against the Celtics, which that was one of the ones they won, but whatever.
He just couldn't get in a rhythm, it felt like.
Couldn't really figure it out, and then Harden failed him when it matters most. At number 3, Steph Curry. Been in the top 5 for a while now. Just won 2 years ago. I don't want to harp too much on that, but was by far the best player in the West, in my opinion, last year. I guess Jokic.
He was great.
So second best player in the West last year because I would have Jokic over him, but he had a great season last year. Continues to impress, continues to put himself as a top 10 player, and continues to cement himself over Kevin Durant all time, which is the most important thing.
And also rewrote the clutch thing. Everybody was saying he wasn't clutch.
Yeah, great point.
And
great point.
And he redid that.
Yeah.
Same thing kind of LeBron did in his career after like the finals against the Warriors, and he dropped 50 in a game 7. So Steph's out here changing people's brains.
Yeah, for sure. Number 2, I got Giannis. I wanted to put him number 1, but with how good Jokic was in this finals, I couldn't do it. But Giannis has been at the top for a while now, since 2019 when he won his first, 2020 when he won his first MVP, and then won back-to-back, obviously won a finals in 21. I think if they're healthy this year, they end up beating the Heat. Who knows for sure, but I do think he's still number 2 in the world, with the potential to be number 1. And number 1, and it's still close despite the dominance that Jokic portrayed in this postseason. I'm putting Jokic at number 1. So that's my top 5 overall. And I know that you guys might think that KD should be in that top 5, but I don't really care. I think he wasn't even the best player on his team this postseason, which might also make some people mad. But I think I personally think that if Phoenix is going to win the finals this year, Devin Booker is going to have to be the best player on the court. KD's going to have to just fit in where he's needed, but he's not going to have to be the guy that elevates everybody and takes over games. I think that's going to still be Devin Booker. He's still going to shoot the ball very, very well, play good on defense because that was underrated. He played very good defense, and people are saying, where's their defense? If Devin Booker plays defense this season like he did in last postseason, they're going to be just fine.
How old do you think Devin Booker is?
27?
Yeah, he's 26.
Yeah.
He's not even hitting his prime yet, and it's arguably that he was it's not even arguable that he was better than KD last postseason. So how am I finna put KD top 5?
You said
No, I know. I'm just thinking about it.
I flipped you with that point.
I'm just thinking like
Just say good point, brother.
No, you didn't flip me. I'm just saying he is 26 years old. He hasn't even hit his prime yet.
Just say good point, bro.
No, I'm not saying good point, bro.
But I flipped your opinion.
You didn't flip me, dude.
You were gonna put KD top 5 till I made that point.
Oh my gosh. All right, peace.
What does that mean?
Is this the last segment?
No.
Oh. You didn't flip me. I'm just saying, like, Devin Booker's 26. He hasn't even hit his prime yet, and just came off one of the best postseason runs or starts probably ever. So I don't know how you put KD top 5 right now.
Go ahead and say good point, bro, in the comments because Cameron's too prideful to say it. So, ready for the last segment?
Yeah.
Did you forget about this one? Would you rather Kyrie edition?
Oh, sure.
All right.
I forgot.
Last segment for today's episode number 66. Please go ahead and hit it. Subscribe. Hit subscribe, follow, whatever. Go to our other socials. Anyway.
That was gross.
Would you rather Kyrie edition? First up, Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard. He just came off a season averaging 32 points.
SGA.
Oh, dude. I'm going to go with SGA.
Really?
I just like his attitude better. I think he's going to be a winning player in this league. And he just came off averaging 30. I mean, he scores at the same rate as Kyrie. The only thing that makes me hesitate is Kyrie's been in the playoffs. But without LeBron, he's only won one playoff series. So
Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray.
Dang, bro.
I don't know, dude. I feel like Jamal Murray just had a playoffs like Kyrie did in 2016. Where
He might
it's
never
like
be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm saying like he is just really clutch and so much eye candy. But when you actually look at the numbers and break it down, like he's got like no All NBAs. He's got like what, 2 All-Stars? He's going to have like a Kyrie-like career where in the biggest moments, he's going to come up big. But when you actually sit down and look at the stats, like he's going to be not even a top 75 player ever. It's just it's one of those guys that's just weird, dude.
So who are you taking?
I'm taking Kyrie. I don't know, dude. It's tough.
You just said Jamal Murray.
I guess Jamal Murray because he's 25. Jamal Murray is 25.
All right, last one. Donovan Mitchell.
Kyrie. I'm not going to disrespect Donovan Mitchell like that.
What?
Now, I don't know if...
Why would that be disrespecting Donovan Mitchell?
Because Kyrie's a champion, bro.
I'm saying, who would you take right now? If you're a free agent, they're both free agents. They both are
Like if I want the Lakers to take somebody.
No, if you're a GM and you're sitting there and both these guys cost $30 million,
Donovan Mitchell.
you
can't trust Kyrie. But when Kyrie is on the floor, it's like he could be a top 3 point guard any day of the week.
Donovan Mitchell can be a top 3 shooting guard.
Can he be on the floor and is he going to be committed to your team? All the other guys, they do that. Kyrie doesn't. So that's what makes it tough.
That's all for episode number 66 of the Good Point Bro podcast. If you guys like today's episode, go ahead and hit that like button and then subscribe. Leave a comment if you guys have any ideas for subjects in the future or didn't like something we did today. But besides that, it's been a pleasure. Check out us out on Instagram. What's the one on Instagram? Good Point Bro.
Good Point Bro.
Good Point Bro on Instagram. Good Point Bro on TikTok. So check those out. We'll see you guys in the next one. All right, it's been fun.
Peace.
Later. Jesus is King, baby. Let's go.